I'm inspired. It's often said when there is nothing to be said, Uncle Bill is the one who will say it. As you heard from Booker T, Auntie Vera left for North America in 1979, and I entered the picture in 1980, when UNICEF decided that they wanted to open an office in Freetown and asked me if I would be willing to open it. So I opened the UNICEF office, which those of you remember, was in the Ministry of Finance at that time, just up the street from King Jimmy House. And there was a UNICEF-assisted project that had a bright young agriculturalist working for it. And while the bright young agriculturalist was in Bow, she maintained a room at King Jimmy House. And so every weekend, as at 01 Odell Place, the clan would gather at King Jimmy House, and I would come down every weekend from the office, because we worked 5.5 days in those years. And although I didn't meet her at the time, I already started to hear about this mythical creature called Auntie Vera. Everyone would talk about this Auntie Vera. When we first came on home leave from Freetown to the US, at that point we were 3. And the first port of call, anytime we came on home leave, was to 1 Odell Place. Fly into New York, spend a couple of days with Auntie Vera. Those of you who know Auntie Vera's apartment, it is not huge. But at that time we were 3 and she was 1, and it was very convenient and very comfortable, and she was very warm and accommodating. We became 4, and 5, and she became 4. And all of a sudden we're 9 and 10 in the same apartment, and yet it never seemed to matter to her. There was always space. We were always welcome, and there was never any question of us ever staying anywhere else or with anyone else. And basically, Auntie Vera has not changed since I first met her 36 years ago. And she is well known throughout my family, and she is well known throughout my family as the ever-ready bunny. She just goes and goes and goes. In terms of her traveling, she's visited us in many places. Zimbabwe stand out. She helped sell off the house and pack it up. And she came to visit us in Kathmandu, and we traveled down to Delhi. And as someone mentioned, she loves traveling by bus. She got the idea to travel by bus from New Delhi to Kathmandu. I don't know how many of you are familiar with South Asia, but this is a 1-hour plane trip. It is a 2-day bus ride. But she was determined. And so a friend of mine who lived in New Delhi found a bus of Tibetan school kids who were returning to Kathmandu for home leave. And she arranged for Auntie Vera and my wife to get on the bus and go back 2 days over the Himalayas to Kathmandu. To this day, most of my colleagues refuse to believe that they did it. She's been a grandmother to my children. It's been an inspiration. Whenever we stayed with her, she got up and got on the 707 train. I think she must have taken that 707 train about 10,000 times. When she'd come home in the evening, she'd immediately start sewing. She always had a project going, and she would work late into the night until after I had gone to sleep, usually a wedding dress. And I often wondered if there was a single Sierra Leonean who was married in America in the last 40 years that was not wearing one of Auntie Vera's dresses. But I think she was an inspiration to my daughter, who was hiding over in the corner. My daughter became a costume designer, and when she was first starting out in Manhattan as a costume designer, she would come and lean on Auntie Vera to help her with with the seamstress work and to help her get started. She's been a rock in our family. It has been a long matter of conjecture of exactly how old she is, but the beans were spilled, I believe, last year when the first time in her life she entered a hospital. And my wife was there to check her in, and she had to give them her birth date. So the secret was out. Bearing in mind that a day later she checked herself out and went home. But on behalf of the entire extended Fellows family, and my mother in particular, who turns 90 in December, this coming December, we'd like to wish you a happy birthday. We'd like to wish you many happy more. We'd like you to keep running the ever-ready bunny. May your ever-ready batteries never run out.